Y'all, hey, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. I'm looking all dicey because there are people all out in the road. I don't know if you can see, there's a dude up there on a snowmobile. It's gonna... I don't know if y'all saw that, but welcome to Minnesota. Anyway, welcome to my channel. Thanks for stopping by. I just want to check in, see how y'all are all doing. I am fine. I am headed oot and a boot. As you can see, we got a little snow. But it is a lovely sunny day here in the Northland. I can't do that because that's going to blind you. Sorry, this sun is going to be ridiculous for a little minute. Then we're going to go that way and it won't be as bad. But it is a lovely sunny day. It's about 16 degrees and I'm running out. I have a little break in between my classes. So I'm going to do something that I normally never do. I am going to run an errand quickly in between my classes. And I will tell y'all, that's part of my New Year's goal setting. And I'll tell you, we'll get there in a second. But anyway, I have a package I need to mail. It is a King Day present, which really means that it is a Christmas present that arrived entirely too late, but that I got a great deal on the gift on Black Friday. So I'm not sending it back. So I will be sending it as a Happy King Day present. So I got to get that in the mail. So that's where we're headed, to the UPS. No, hang on, let me look. I think, dang it, no, we're not going the wrong way. I think, y'all, it is not easy being green. Let me tell y'all what happened. So I use Shippo, and you can use, you know, like UPS, FedEx, or USPS on Shippo, and it tells you all the different shipping rates. Well, for USPS regular, which would have taken 9 days, it would have been 40 cents more than USPS 2-day. So I was like, I can do that math. I will pay the extra 40 cents and get it there in 2 days. So that's what we're doing. But I got confused because I was thinking I had used UPS because UPS had a 3-day, which would have saved me 10 cents, but it's another day and I would have had to drive all the way downtown. So I'll pay 10 cents every single time not to have to drive downtown, even though it's only downtown Duluth, but I don't care, y'all hush. So we have to go this way now. We're going to drive right straight back into the sun. But I'm glad I thought of that before I went all the way down to the UPS store. And I don't know what I would have done because you just drop it off at the counter. Anyway, good Lord. So how y'all doing? How y'all doing on your New Year's goals? That's what I want to talk to y'all about. I'm doing all right. I got a little behind on one of my goals already. And y'all, it's the 6th. But I have, you know, calmed myself down because it is an annual goal. And I made a page, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I have started journaling. I know. And it's not even like a normal, you know, just write your things down journal. It's kind of like a hybrid bullet journal, not a bullet journal, but y'all, have you seen all of the cool things that are out there that you can buy for journaling? There's like journal covers and all the journals, and there's the pens, and you can buy stencils to write things in your journal, stickers, and then there are like dividers, and there are videos you can watch. You can make barn doors in your journals. What? I don't even know. But so we're journaling. I need to calm my tits because I'm trying to use a microphone, but some people should ought to not use microphones. We'll see. I'm gonna have to do a lot of editing on this one. But so I might show y'all the page in my journal that I have. I don't know. I'm gonna go look at it and try to look at it with an objective eye and see if it looks a little bit too psycho. But for Peloton, we talked about this before, they have an annual app or an annual goal, and I achieved the annual, and it's minutes. So you work out a certain number of minutes in a year. And I did that. Ooh, the truck in front of me is a diesel and it stinks. Let's slow down. I need to slow my roll anyway. I did it not easily, but I did it the first year. I did it handily last year. Well, the intern asked me the other day how many minutes I had done. And I was like, well, I don't know, because the new year had already started, so it had rolled to counting minutes for this year. So we figured it out and went back, and I almost doubled the goal. So it's 20,000 minutes. Y'all don't make fun. If you think that's not a lot, quit it out. I'm old. It's 20,000 minutes on anything that you do on the Peloton platform in a year. And I did, I don't know, like 36,000 minutes last year. So I was like, so I started calculating, like if I'd only done this many more minutes a day, or, you know, whatever, I could have doubled. So y'all, I was so like disappointed that I hadn't, and I kind of thought about it not going into the year, but once my minutes kind of started piling up, I was like, oh, I could maybe double this. But then I just stopped thinking about it and didn't do the hard thing, right? I just left it be and then ended up almost doing it. So now, as little as earning those Peloton virtual rewards matters, doubling one of them matters even less. But it was just something that I was like, oh, if I just hadn't been, and I don't even want to say weak, but it was almost like mentally lazy, because I thought about it and then I was like, oh, whatever, and just went on about what I was doing. But if I had just focused a little bit, then I could have done it. And again, I know it doesn't matter, but it would have mattered to me. So that's what I'm doing. So I've gone and figured out, I think we talked about this, how many minutes I have to work out. No, I think I talked to the intern about it. How many minutes I need to work out on the Peloton platform every day. I don't have the same schedule every day, but I have a pretty much uniform schedule every week. So I have like 4 days a week I do a certain thing, and then 3 days a week I do a certain other thing. So I know how many minutes I need to slow down. Y'all, I'm getting anxious just talking about this. So I have figured out how many minutes I need to work out on my 4 days and then on my 3 days, and how many minutes I need in a week. So like if I'm off on a day, then I can divide those minutes over the other days or whatever, so that if I end up the week okay. And you know what, as I'm talking this through, maybe I need to add months in there too. I had months, but then I was like, that doesn't really matter. Can I do this? Yeah, that's not awful. There are sledders out all over the place. Y'all see this guy? I don't know if you're gonna be able to see him because I just whipped past him. There's a guy up there running or walking or doing something, stumbling down the road. 16, hang on. Let me look and see what the temperature is. It is 20 degrees, but it actually is really nice out. It's sunny. That's what I've been thinking about, is what I need to do to double that annual goal on Peloton. And I didn't start thinking about it. The intern and I talked about it on like the 3rd. So, and y'all, the 1st was rough because, as many of you know, Bulldog Nation was up late on New Year's Eve winning a bowl game. Go Dogs. So I didn't do a whole lot of work. I did significantly less than my average amount of work on New Year's Day. So I was already off on day 1. So I went back and looked at it and figured out how many minutes I needed to catch up to be caught up by the end of this week. Y'all, it's an annual goal. I have 52, okay, really 50 weeks, because I figured the last couple weeks of the year I'm going to be probably at my mama's house. So I will want to have the thing buttoned up, at least close to buttoned up by then. But, and that was when it occurred, this is where we're going with this whole thing. That was when it occurred to me that I needed to cool my jets and maybe exercise a little moderation. And I started thinking about the importance of exercising moderation when you're planning goals. And ooh, y'all, look at this. Is really, I know this is not a good situation for the owner of this house, but look how pretty this is with the icicles hanging off that house. Those are ice dams, and that's not good, but it's really pretty to look at. All right, I gotta figure out where I'm going. Moderation. How important it is to exercise moderation when you set up your goals. And then even if you go sort of all out when you set up your goals, exercising moderation when you sort of plan out your path for achieving your goals. Here's what I mean by that. I read a study. Once I started thinking about this, I started to kind of read on it and see what smarter people than me had to say about it. And I read a study by a group in Manchester, I think. A group of sports psychologists did a study. They talked about how moderation in exercise affects goal achievement and self-efficacy. What they figured out, and y'all, every bit of this is just duh. They figured out that when you're not moderate, when you're sort of extreme, when you set goals and you don't consider your own limitations, and you set goals that you just can't achieve, and you fail over and over and over again, then you see yourself as somebody who can't achieve goals. So then instead of assessing the goals and realigning the goals with your own ability or your current situation, you're more likely to just not attempt the goal anymore because you don't see the goal as the problem, you see yourself as the problem. So instead of changing the goal, you just stop trying. Where if you have more moderate goals that you can achieve, even if it's something that you might at one point have looked at and said, oh, that's easy. If you achieve it, based on this study, it will affect your self-image and your self-efficacy. So you will see yourself as somebody who achieves goals, who completes tasks, and you're more likely to then set a more challenging goal for yourself. So y'all, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about, was moderation. We talked a few weeks ago, was it last week, week before, about instead of setting New Year's resolutions, setting New Year's goals. Well, now let's talk about looking at those goals and seeing if we need to take a moderate approach to our plans to execute those goals. Maybe break them down and establish steps that you can take along the way and work your way up to whatever that goal is. Maybe it's, I don't know, my example the other day, I think, was running. Y'all, I don't run. If you see me running, you best start running too, because something's chasing me. But if your goal is to, I don't know, run a 5K, and you thought that your first step would be to run 20 minutes without stopping, and on New Year's Day, you tried to run 20 minutes without stopping and you fell out. Well, maybe make your goal to walk for 20 minutes without stopping. So it's sort of a moderate, intermediate step towards that goal. And once you achieve that step, then you can take the step of running for 20 minutes straight without stopping. Y'all can tell I'm not a runner. I don't know why I try to use that as an example. I know nothing about running. But anyway, maybe we need to think about being moderate in the things that we do. And y'all, by we, I mean me. And that's why. Did I tell you I was going to tell you something about going out in between my classes? Y'all, I never leave the house on my teaching days. I have breaks in between my classes, and typically I have a 15-minute break in between my back-to-back classes so that I can, see to the dogs and do the things that we need to do. But some of the breaks that I have are 30 or 45 minutes, so I could easily run out and do something quickly and then come back and be ready for class. But I'm so paranoid that something's going to happen that I just won't. So I spend the entire day in the house and don't get anything done other than teaching, which is fine. I mean, that's my job. Like, teaching is my job. But today I have a 4-hour break because of how I scheduled myself to come back to my teaching schedule from my holiday break. I had a 4-hour break, and y'all, I had to talk myself into leaving the house because I have it like so etched in my brain that I don't leave the house on teaching days. It's a little extreme. So I'm trying to be a little bit more moderate. Now, granted, I've only gone, I don't know, 5 miles from the house. And I went into the post office and panicked a little bit when I realized that they're closed from 1 to 1:30 for a lunch break. So I'm going to sit here and wait for the mail dude to come back so I can run in and drop off my package. So y'all, I'm gonna try moderation. And I mentioned that we're journaling. So one of the journal vlogs that I've been watching on YouTube has a word of the year. Like, she puts a word in the front of her journal and like focuses on that all year. And y'all, I went apoplectic when I saw that. I was like, how do you pick one word for the whole year? There are so many great words. What if you want to change your word? What if you get tired of your word? What if you achieve your word halfway through the year and then you're stuck with this dumb word? So I'm not going to say that this is my word for the year, but let's say this is my word for the quarter. My word for the quarter is going to be focus. I'm going to try to focus on things. And for right now, for the beginning of the year, I'm going to focus on moderation, not being quite so psycho about things like not leaving the house when I'm teaching. Like when I have an hour break, it's okay to run out and do a 10-minute errand. Or when I have a 4-hour break, it's okay to run out and do a 20-minute errand. So I'm going to focus on moderation and just see how that goes. All right, it's 1:30. I'm going to run inside, drop off this package, head back to the house, get in a quick stretchy workout. Y'all, I am so stiff. I don't know if do y'all see all this snow? Hang on. Can y'all see that, or is that just a blur of white? How about this side? Hang on, look at the snow on this side. It has been snowing. It snowed for a day and a half. Now, the intern does most of the heavy snow moving with his snow tractor and snow blower, but there are places he can't get. So then I try to like actually be involved and go out and like shovel out places he can't get to. That's a lot of snow moving, y'all. So I'm stiff and I'm sore. So I'm gonna go home and do some yoga, eat some lunch, and get some dinner going. I think I might make chicken and dumplings, which I know doesn't sound very healthy, and that's okay. I'm gonna be moderate about that too, y'all. Real food cooked well is healthy. So you know what? I just made the decision. I am gonna make chicken and dumplings. I'm gonna make a big old pot of chicken and dumplings with a bunch of chicken, a bunch of vegetables, maybe not a ton of dumplings, but I'm gonna put that together. I've never done it before, so we'll just see how it goes. So that's what I'm gonna do. I will check back with y'all when I get to the house. All right, see y'all there. Alright y'all, I am stretchy and bendy and ready for dumplings. We need to move a little bit quickly because I have class in a few minutes. But this should go pretty fast. So I'm going to spray my pan, toss in some sesame oil, and saute some onions, celery, and carrots. I'm not sure if chicken and dumplings is supposed to have carrots, but mine's going to have carrots and it might have corn too. All right, those look just about done. I poured in just a little bit of water once they got to sauteing good, just to weep them down a little bit. So I might let them go just a tiny bit longer. Then I'm going to throw in some garlic. Let that get aromatic. I put in a little basil too, just because I love it. So I'll toss that. Oh, that smells so good. Toss that around together. Let it go just about another minute to keep that garlic from scalding. Now I'm going to pull that off, y'all. Bring out my chicken. I pre-gamed this chicken. I'm using chicken thighs, not chicken breast, because moderation. I know chicken breasts are leaner, but this is going to be tasty. I got the family pack of chicken thighs, browned them quickly, and just threw them in this big old Dutch oven and stuck them in the oven at 250. Let them go for about 3 hours. Then took it out, set it on the stove top because I was teaching classes. And then came back, pulled it out, cleaned them, and here's what I have. And I just dumped it back in the juice that came out of the chicken. I know that sounds gross, y'all, but oh my gosh, it smells so good. So I'm gonna use this as the base of my chicken and dumplings. I'm gonna dump my sauteed vegetables in on top of that. And I might end up switching to a bigger pot because I don't know that this is gonna let stuff move like I want it to. Before things get going too much longer, I'm gonna start adding in some more water. And y'all, I want this to be a little thick, but not thicky thick. Those are technical terms. You can Google them, look them up if you're not sure what a little thick and thicky thick look like. So that was about maybe a little shy of 4 cups of water. And y'all, I think what I'm going to do is add some chicken bouillon because I do want a good strong chickeny taste to this. So I'm going to add some chicken bouillon, let it cook for a few minutes, and then probably start adding some cornstarch to thicken it up, and then we'll talk dumplings. I have buttermilk too, which is also an option. This calls for, some recipes call for a cream of something soup, like cream of chicken or cream of whatever kind of soup you like. I'm not going to go with the crema because I'm trying to be a little bit healthy. I have low-fat buttermilk, so maybe I'll throw in some of that and see what we get. Y'all, that's really tasty. All right, I'm going to throw in some cornstarch, thicken it up a little. I'm going to let that, I'm going to need more cornstarch, I'm certain, but I'm going to let that come to a boil first. Let's see what we have because I don't want to turn this into glue. It's pretty. I think I will put in some corn. I like corn and things. Y'all, that is a lot of chicken. This might be chickeny chicken and dumplings. That's all right. Somebody is blowing up my watch. Oh, that's me blowing up my watch. Y'all, we might have something here. I've let this boil a bit and it's starting to thicken up. I definitely think I put in vegetables that aren't supposed to be in a chicken and dumplings, but I don't care. It's pretty. Now, I'm nervous about this next step because once you put in your dumplings, you're not allowed to stir. And y'all know I'm a stirrer. So I read that you can use Womp biscuits and just roll them out and slice them up, and that if you slice them thin, that they dumpling up nicely. So that's what I did. So let's see what we get. Paula Dean said you shake. You don't stir, you shake. All right, I'm going to cut the heat down on this and let it simmer for a little bit and see what we've got. So I will check back in with y'all in a few minutes. All right, y'all, let's see what we got. Oh my. It looks like we might have made chicken and dumplings. I'm gonna do a little taste test. I don't want to eat a whole lot because I got to get back to work, but I want to get a little broth, a little dumpling. Of course, it's hot. I know the chicken's good. I'm concerned about the gooiness of the dumplings. Because I told y'all I used Womp biscuits, right? I just rolled them out. Let me say this. Years ago, the intern bought me this really nice, heavy marble rolling pin from, I don't know, Williams-Sonoma or somewhere. So I know it's probably overpriced, but y'all, if you've never rolled out dough with a chilled, heavy marble rolling pin, you just don't even know. All right, I am stalling a little bit. I'm a little bit nervous. So anyway, we had Womp biscuits in the fridge, so I just opened them and rolled them out and sliced them. And that's what we have for our dumplings. Oh my. That's exceptionally tasty. I'm pretty sure I'm drooling on myself. I think slicing the dumplings thin was the way to go, because I'm going to cut this down some so I don't end up making glue before dinner. Because then you get a whole bunch of bubbling on all the surfaces, and there's not a big old hunk of like raw doughiness in the middle. This is really good. And it was easy and quick to make. I would say the longest part of the preparation, or maybe it was just the most tedious part for me, was rolling out them Womp biscuits and slicing them up. But the chicken, you just sear it and throw it in the oven. Let that cook on its own for hours. Chop up some vegetables, and then y'all saw how long it took to throw it together. So yeah, that's really good. All right, I need to clean up this mess and get back to class, but I will come back later, maybe tomorrow, and let y'all know what the intern thinks of this. Because did I tell y'all he said he's a big chicken and dumplings fan? So no pressure there, right? So yeah, so I'll come back later and let y'all know what he thinks. All right, so I'll check back in. Y'all, thank you so much for coming to my channel. If you haven't already done so, subscribe and hit that notification bell. I upload new food and fitness videos every Monday with some book videos sprinkled in between. See ya on the next one.